Hey, Secrets to Abundant Living podcast community. You have heard it before. Real estate is all about location, 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 right? But it's also about timing, and the timing has never been better. Here's why. When the Fed tripled interest rates in 2022, investors who took on short term bridge debt in 21, 22, and 23, they got caught. It's sad. And those loans are now maturing. And some of those owners, unfortunately, are in trouble. But this means discounted apartment deals are hitting the market in 2026 and 27. And we're having lots of interesting conversations with lenders that are taking back properties. And commercial real estate investors are going to want to be ready to scoop up those properties, which is why I'm hosting a free 3-part passive investor masterclass to give you the step-by-step blueprint that I use and other passive investors have also successfully used to analyze these investment opportunities like a pro. My goal is to make you feel safe, prepared, and that you can make the best decision for yourself and your wealth. The second live session is on Thursday, April 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Spots are limited, so you should save your spot today. The link is in the show notes, and I don't want you to miss this window. So I'm really excited to give you this live masterclass training. And if you missed last week's episode or webinar, don't worry. We'll give you that recording, but hop in and join us on Thursday, April 16th. Looking forward to seeing you then. Welcome to today's solo episode. My name is Amy Sylvis. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the founder and CEO of Sylvis Capital. We connect investors to hands-off real estate investment opportunities. I don't know what's going on with my hair, but we're going to make it work today. All right. Hey, I've been doing some thinking about what makes the wealthy, the billionaire class different than the rest of society. I've talked about this from time to time on the podcast, but I've got some new kind of framework and thoughts that I'd love to talk to you all about today. So it's no secret, success leaves clues, right? There are certain activities, beliefs, behaviors that people have that are different than the rest. Tiger Woods, unfortunately, he maybe not the best example given his recent DUI, but if we focus just on his golf performance on the range, exceptional. He does things differently than other people. We think about obviously the dearly departed Kobe Bryant, different. Success leaves clues. There are people that are achieving incredible things that do things differently. And that's why I spend so much time studying the wealthy, the billionaires. And yeah, some people inherit their wealth, fine. You're absolutely right. But there are other people who have created the generational wealth. They're the ones in their families who have done it. And I think studying that is fascinating because there are different behaviors, beliefs, and mindsets. So the one that comes to mind today that I want to talk to you all about is leverage, is this concept of leverage. And there are 3 different types of leverage I'd love to talk through. But I'm going to start off with some context on why I think it's so interesting to share this and why you all might be able to relate to it too. My story is a little bit different than most people's, but that's okay. You all can hang in there. We can talk through it. So before I get into the 3 types of leverage and how that helps people create wealth, you all know I live with cystic fibrosis. And as of this recording, I am almost 45 years old, which is just wild to say. I am so grateful. When I was born with CF, I was diagnosed at 6 months old. My parents were told that I would live to be around 8 or 9 years old. That was the life expectancy back then. So to have the wrinkles and the gray hair and all the perimenopause and all those great things is a blessing, right? It's a blessing. So I say all this in a tongue-in-cheek way, but to take care of a lung condition, which is what cystic fibrosis is, required that I do quite a bit on my own, do things that no one else could do for me. And that had to start at a very, very young age. So you'll see how this ties into the concept of leverage here shortly. But living with a lung condition where I needed to keep my lungs in good shape. Look, there was no cure for the illness. There is a highly effective treatment that I've been on for 6.5 years, thank God. But up until that point, there were a few kind of things I could do to modify the illness to hedge my bets to make myself a little bit healthier. But the reality was all of us with cystic fibrosis were going to get severe pneumonia and lung infections year after year after year that would progressively steal our lung function and eventually make us need a lung transplant or, God forbid, possibly even die. And that was the prognosis that was handed to me at a very, very young age. So what could I do? Very little, candidly, very, very little. But I could do breathing treatments as my doctor prescribed. Hours and hours a day I could dedicate toward doing a few little things that could make my lungs a little bit healthier and slow down a little bit the deterioration of my lungs and the chances of getting a lung infection. I could exercise, even though it was really exhausting and really hard to breathe. Imagine a giant building tied to your feet and trying to exercise. That's what it used to feel like before I got this miracle drug back in 2019. But it could help. It could be a helpful thing. I could eat well. I could exercise. I could reduce stress. I could get enough sleep. I could stay away from people that had viruses, because as you can imagine, viruses could make my already really fragile lungs in a really tough spot. And yeah, sleep, exercise, stress, do treatments, go to doctor's appointments for checkups the best that I could. So there was a bit within my control. But are you noticing a theme? For 39 years until I got this, 38 years until I got this highly effective treatment, almost everything that I could do to treat my lung condition were things that could only be done by me. No one else could do a breathing treatment for me. No one else could exercise for me. No one else could sleep and get restorative sleep on my behalf. No one else could go to the doctor on my behalf. Are you noticing a pattern? My whole worldview, the way I thought about everything, and of course, I didn't realize it at the time. I was just trying to survive. But everything in my life that mattered to be able to just survive so I could enjoy time with my friends, I could have a career, I could spend time with family. The key to unlocking all of that was on my shoulders. There was no one, no matter how much time or income or influence or any of that, there's nothing I could do to offload those things. And no one could exercise for me, like I said. So this really informed my worldview and how I thought about everything in life. When it came to starting my real estate private equity firm, which we have now, it took 10 years for me to get this thing off the ground of trying and failing. And there were a lot of things that were in play. One of the biggest ones was I was really sick. So once I got my miracle drug, hey, shocker, it's a lot easier to be able to do things when your health is more stable. But another big part of it was I saw almost everything in life through the lens of what can I do? What actions can I take? What strategies can I learn? What skills can I acquire? No leverage, just me. And there's nothing wrong with that, to be clear. There's nothing wrong with relying on myself and thinking about what I can do. Obviously, life can't just be other people doing things for us on our behalf, but it totally negates this concept of leverage. And this brings this back into once I figured out that I can partner with people and go further faster with people who have different skill sets, complementary skill sets, we can pool resources, all of these things. That's when I was able to crack the code of investing and growing my net worth and growing my income and getting back my time to control my time. So, this concept of leverage is near and dear to my heart. And as I study the wealthy, I want to talk to you all about three ways that I found that the wealthy use leverage to continue to grow their wealth and mitigate their risk and all of those great things. So, the first thing is leveraging skills. Leveraging skills. You've probably heard of people saying, let's use the example of AI, right? This is a recent relevant example. AI is constantly changing. There's a lot to learn, whether you're just a W-2 worker, whether you're a business owner, anything in between. There's a lot that AI can do for us right now, and it's going to keep improving, and the impact is going to continue to grow. So, learning AI and what it's capable of and keeping up can be a full-time job. And so, in this frame of leverage, we have two choices. Do we ourselves go ahead and take the time to learn, to implement, to make mistakes, to iterate, and try to keep up with this never ending space? Nothing wrong with that. Or do we pay someone or partner with other people who have been there, done that, are doing this full time, who are experts, who have experience implementing it, who know the pitfalls, who know what's right behind around the corner that we may not know because we're new, we're inexperienced, and quite frankly, we're focused on a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a choice. And you may be saying, yeah, Amy, that's really nice. And then we can partner or hire people if we have the money. Why don't I just do it myself? Look at all the money that I could save. And you're right. You are right. Very often, money is involved in the leverage equation. But again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what it is. Those who are more wealthy and who are more successful find ways to leverage other people's experience, expertise, even failures, so that they can go further faster towards their goals, whether it's increasing their net worth, having more financial freedom, owning more of their time, whatever that looks like. And yeah, are the wealthy more able to have access to resources like money to pay other people? For sure. But here's the chicken or the egg, right? The W-2 mindset is, hey, I'm earning a fixed amount of money. I have expenses. The more I minimize expenses, the more money I can take home. But the key there is that the income is fixed. Entrepreneurs, investors think, oh, I can influence the income that I bring in by how I invest in other people's resources. We'll talk about the other leverage too, but my income isn't fixed. In fact, I can exponentially grow my income by thinking of not expenses, but as investments. What if I invest in other people's knowledge around AI? What if I invest in other people's ability to implement systems and processes that can make my company more efficient or add more value to our customers? So it's a mindset shift of, and, you know, do I see expenses as investments that'll help grow my top line, that'll help grow my revenue? Or do I see my income as completely fixed? And my only way to increase my take home pay is to minimize my expenses. Two very different mindsets and very different outcomes. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but if you're like me with a average middle class family of origin, a 71-year-old father who is still doing physical labor, not because he has to, but because he loves it. I wasn't taught any of these concepts. I had to learn and study how the wealthy got where they were. And again, some people are born into big inheritance, yes, but there are countless other people who earn their way there, who have the strategies and skills. And I think it's worth talking about this idea of how we can leverage other people's skills. And yes, you will save money if you take the time to learn things on your own and implement. But how much is that saving money costing you? Could you have a better ROI by paying somebody else, and that can grow your top line and therefore you take home more? Which leads me to the second point of leverage, which is time. The wealthy, the billionaires, those who own their own time understand how important time is. And this kind of leveraging skills and leveraging time it's tough to kind of tease them apart, but understanding what the billionaire class, what the wealthy understand, which is we all have 24 hours in a day. So how do we maximize that time? Well, we can use leverage and leverage other people's time. Let's just say I do a calculation. I encourage you all to do this. And I decide that my time is worth $100 an hour. That's what I can make. Get me on a task for an hour. It is worth $100. I can generate $100 in revenue. But what if I just have 24 hours in a day? That's brutal. I have a limited amount of capacity of things I can do. And that doesn't even take into account sleep. What if I can leverage somebody else's time? And I know that my time is worth $100 an hour. So I pay someone $50 an hour to do something for me. I'm creating more time because I'm leveraging theirs, right? They're happy. I'm paying them. Obviously, it's a fair wage. You agree on that. All those good, warm, and fuzzy things. But this idea of I have the capability of doing it myself. Why would I pay someone else to do it when I can do it myself? Is a W-2 earner's mindset. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. This is all about whatever your goals are in life. But if you're looking to have more time to spend with your family, have more time to volunteer, have more time to enjoy your hobbies, All of these things, own more of this precious resource, paying someone to do things for you that is below the cost of you doing it for you can be a way to leverage time and grow your income and your business exponentially. I think these all sound really intuitive, but again, if you're like me in terms of your upbringing, especially my schooling, it's not like school taught me how to leverage other people's time and skills. I had to take tests. No one else could take them for me. I had to get a job. It's not like other people could do my job for me to earn that paycheck. So these concepts, maybe at first blush, might seem obvious, but there is such a different mindset for those who work in the corporate world who have a W 2 versus entrepreneurs and investors. The last thing I want to point out is leveraging other people's money. There's a lot there to unpack. There's a lot. You might have big feelings about that. That's okay. We'll take your big feelings. But, something as simple as using the bank's money, borrowing it at 8% a year to buy an investment property that generates income. Now, the Dave Ramsey people of the world, or Dave Ramsey himself, might clutch his ever loving pearls and say, oh my gosh, you should avoid debt no matter what. Maybe, maybe, maybe we should save up forever and buy an investment property with all cash. Yeah, maybe. Again, I'm not here to tell you how to invest or what's right or what's wrong. What I can tell you is what I see the wealthy do. They leverage other people's money and grow their wealth faster by having debt, by not racing to pay down every single debt that cash flows. I'm not talking about consumer debt, but I'm talking about borrowing at 8% and making a nice return on that and not sinking all of your investment capital into one property, but using leverage so you can put less down so you can buy more properties and grow passive income more quickly. Are there risks? Absolutely. Are there more risks when you use other people's money? For sure. Absolutely. Are there ways to mitigate risk by getting educated, by working with mentors and coaches who have done this before successfully and can show you what your blind spots might be or some pitfalls you might run into? Absolutely. But let me tell you, you can eliminate all risk in life. You can be in jail. What a wild thing to say, but hey, you've got guaranteed security. You've got police all around you in jail. You've got 3 square meals a day. You have a roof over your head, but you have no freedom. So, yeah, I mean, we can go to the extreme and minimize all risk and be in that state. Or we can figure out how to mitigate risk, educate ourselves, and understand what the wealthy do. So, for you, you might say, Amy, it's just not a risk that I'm willing to take by leveraging other people's money. And that's totally fine. That is your prerogative. You're the one that's going to live with your investment decisions. So that's really, really important for you to figure out and for you to do. But I just want to introduce new ways of thinking. And hey, borrowing money is just one way to leverage other people's money. Leveraging a property, utilizing debt and a loan, just one of many ways to leverage other people's money that can amplify returns and get us closer to the wealth goals and the control of time goals that we're looking for. So, my challenge to you today is to take a look at your life and think of where you can use other people's skills, other people's time, and other people's money to get your financial freedom, to own more of your time. I'm not saying to implement, but what I am saying is just start off with this first thing. Put in the comments. I'd love to see kind of what you're thinking through in terms of how you might be able to use appropriate leverage in your life or in your business. Get educated, get mentors, get coaches. Don't just jump off the diving board without doing that. But the first step to seeing if this is right for you, if this could help you reach your goals, is coming up with and brainstorming some ideas there. So I hope you found this interesting. I love it. I think yeah, it's just fantastic to study what other people are doing. Even if we decide after we study it's not right for us, my goodness, is it much better than just saying, this is all I know, this is what I've been taught, I'm going to stick with that, and then being upset that we don't have the income that we want. We don't have ownership of time that we want, the impact that we would like to have on the world. Thanks for joining today's episode, y'all. Do me a favor, if you haven't left us a review, please do so. If you gained value here, it would really, really mean a lot if you gave us a review. Talk to y'all soon. Bye for now. Hey, Secrets to Abundant Living podcast community. You have heard it before. Real estate is all about location, 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 right? But it's also about timing, and the timing has never been better. Here's why. When the Fed tripled interest rates in 2022, investors who took on short-term bridge debt in 21, 22, and 23, they got caught. It's sad. And those loans are now maturing. And some of those owners, unfortunately, are in trouble. But this means discounted apartment deals are hitting the market in 2026 and 27. And we're having lots of interesting conversations with lenders that are taking back properties. And commercial real estate investors are going to want to be ready to scoop up those properties, which is why I'm hosting a free 3-part passive investor masterclass to give you the step-by-step blueprint that I use and other passive investors have also successfully used to analyze these investment opportunities like a pro. My goal is to make you feel safe, prepared, and that you can make the best decision for yourself and your wealth. The second live session is on Thursday, April 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Spots are limited, so you should save your spot today. The link is in the show notes, and I don't want you to miss this window, so I'm really excited to give you this live masterclass training. And if you missed last week's episode or webinar, don't worry, we'll give you that recording. But hop in and join us on Thursday, April 16th. Looking forward to seeing you then.